Alright, we'll call this meeting to order. First of all, review and approve June 16th, 2021 minutes.
I move that they be approved.
Second? Okay, all in favor? Okay.
I move that we approve the warrants.
No problem.
We're the wrong way.
Yeah. Could've gone back to the right.
Yeah. My whole day's been like that.
I'll second it. All in favor? The heat. Ooh. Alright, open culvert there. Is this the only one we got? This one?
Yep.
And PYSD for $5,850.
Just lump sum? Yep. Well, I move that we award this, contract to PYSD. That's second.
All in favor? Next thing, gravel. I think it's up, you're up by, what's the one from that, nasty?
Oh, we get the 1.5 inches, I guess. The 3/4 is the gray, dusty stuff. And when we bid it with Steve years ago, we specified we wanted the brown dirt, and there was no issue. I don't know if he's out of it or not on a 3/4, but I prefer not to have the gray stuff, so.
It doesn't work as well as,
No, it's dusty.
just because it's dusty, or because
Well-
he's saying it's because it's been so dry.
Well, it's dry, but that gray is more of a dustier than the brown. I just afraid if I put it on some of the roads like the River Road and people go down through there at 50, 60, and it gets in their houses, they're not gonna be happy. 'cause I know some driveways that it's been taken out of and brown dirt's been put in over it or removed it. 'Cause it's wrecked their floors, 'cause of the mica in it and stuff, that's
Just
all.
because it's so dusty, is it?
Yeah, I mean, when we bid it before, there was no issues, we, they brought the brown stuff, we kinda had an option, I thought probably we could this time too, but
Doesn't it harden up when it gets rained on?
a lot of stuff gets hardened when it rains, but when it dries out, it loosens back out,
Gets dusty, yeah.
so. I guess if they can't do the 3/4, like the 1.5 inches, then we've got enough now that we'd be all right and just get the 3/4 for this year. I'd rather do that than get the product that we're not happy with, that's all,
Can we do that? Can we change midstream after we approved it? We pretty much gave him the contract, it's kind of like that. What do you think, like?
I wonder if we can get, he was seeming hesitant to get the brown stuff.
Yeah, they said it'd be more expensive, right?
He sent an email today and wondered why we hadn't waited a week, to get back to him, but we told him he was on vacation. He can't call in if you don't have a loader over there, push up at least once a day. So, I mean, today would've been the day to say yes or no, so. What do you think, Bob?
Well, we can talk to them, see if we can provide the brown stuff. I guess you gotta have dirt or something to add to it, right? That's what it is.
Well, the overburden on the pile and stuff.
Right. We can ask them. You have the other bids as well?
We have two others.
Did we retain the bid, the other
We
bids?
did? Yeah.
We should look at those and see what,
Do you want them?
Yeah. If they specified what type you'd be getting at, and,
who they are and what type.
They just did size.
Which are interested in the
yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
If you can't do it with 3/4 the brown stuff, then you can get the rest all 1.25 inches, 1.5 if you want, you won't get no 3/4.
Well, it's,
If it comes to that,
get an equivalent amount or something.
yeah.
Yeah, what his dollar value matches.
Yeah, and, I guess we need to make sure that on the next bid that we specify specifically what the criteria is.
Yeah.
Is there a different, like, grade, not gravel, grade A or B or something?
Well, there's all kinds of different grades, but, and I guess it is state approved, but,
Mhm.
a lot of gravel state approved, but it's just a dustier, that's all. It's
More stone dust than mica
a lot
really
more
usually.
than usual, yeah. If you can't do the other, then just get the rest 1.5 inches,
Yeah.
Fill out the order this time,
And they'll be okay with,
I'm okay with it if you guys are,
fine.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm fine with it.
Just the 3/4 sometimes is better, like at the end of somebody's driveway, you don't have such big rocks when you put a culvert in, or, when we have to rake it out and then put hot top, it's easier with a 3/4, but
A lot better.
we can suffer through it all right, no problem.
We'll see what she's got. driveway, way down in Cape Elizabeth.
Well, they got a pit over in Cornish, that's memory. They got a pit over on Route 5, over there, almost on the Limerick line. That's telling you there ain't much gravel in Cape Elizabeth.
Exactly. Was Steve on 25 cents on the difference of the 3/4 of an inch and a half?
Yeah.
It was only 25 cents difference, wasn't it?
Yep.
He should be agreeable with that, I would think. I mean, so he's not gonna lose no money either.
You get more
Almost
gravel.
higher.
You'll get more gravel from Steve if you buy just more of the, inch and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, the price differences on these are considerable, so. That's what I think we should do.
You want to stick with the inch and a half and finish it, and that's all right.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Everybody happy?
No, that's all right.
Yeah, okay.
How do you wanna get that back to Steve? Do you want me to email him or someone to call him? Or do you want me to call him? He's been communicating with me through email. He hasn't called.
I'll give him a call.
Okay.
I think I've got his phone number somewhere.
Yeah, he just emailed it today.
All right, good. Resolved. Review documents for standing warrant abatements.
I don't think they're gonna be very happy with that.
No?
I think they're looking for a lot more money. But it was also, they've been paying 10 years, but you can only go back 3. And the first year, he's already got it changed, so they've already paid that one off.
Oh, yeah.
So it's only 2 years abated.
It's funny how much we see of that, you know?
I know. Well,
People look at their tax bills, understand what they're paying for.
Some people just like me, I just write a check and.
Yeah.
I ain't got much to pay anyway.
my mother was doing that, and then after we lost Dad, and I figured out, you know, she thought she was paying too much for taxes, and I figured out for the land area and stuff. Come to find out, I was paying on my 8 acres, she was paying on my 8 acres still. So, I mean, they let it slip through too.
Look at that.
I've already seen it.
You seen this, Bob?
Yep.
So,
Nope, I guess. review San Juan patrol application. We have an applicant, Chad was saying this is your sister or?
Isabella.
Isabella, we had last year. He said he wouldn't mind sticking around with her for a while, but trying to see how she does.
She's only 16 years old.
Yeah, 16 now. We've had a 16-year-old girl apply, you know, for a beach attendant. Ooh.
It's kind of,
We had an incident last night that the sheriff had to be called, so
really?
it's not all calm and cool down there.
Yeah, I talked with Chad, he said he's had some problems down there.
Yeah, I don't know.
And, the same family has returned that caused all the trouble before. And I really don't feel comfortable with having a 16-year-old.
No, I don't either.
He came in today and said someone got right up in his face and started yelling at him, so,
Yeah.
yeah, but Chad can hold his ground, so.
Yeah, oh,
I don't know if she could.
I've told them to, you know, if somebody gets unruly, to tell them to leave. If they don't wanna leave, then call county.
We do have I did get a hold of, that Andrew Sergeant Feeney, and he gave me another number. We have like 911 dispatch, his cell phone, and he actually gave us an additional number. He said, use this number, to get out immediately. If you need absolutely immediate assistance, you call this 839 number.
Really?
So I gave that to Chad with a card, and we all have it, so. He's been excellent with Sergeant Feeney. He did show up yesterday too, so.
He did, I like to meet him, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Have him come in and,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I almost think that, he ought to be writing some incident reports, just to keep track. Just like, Ariel does, and people are being unruly, and,
At least you got a record of
we
it.
got a record of it,
Something on
and
paper.
if we need, I was thinking too, if things get too messy, maybe for a while, we should hire a security agent from a agency. But, I mean,
I don't know how much money we got.
I know, yeah, that's right. I mean, if we had a record of how many incidents would happen, maybe next town meeting, we could put in
I
a
agree
little
with
extra to, just for a while, just to kind of calm things down again. So I think, it's, you know, people just, I don't know why last year was great, and this year is,
Well, look what they're doing on airplanes, like I was talking with Danielle today. I mean, they're being thrown off airplanes, fighting on them,
yeah.
trains and everything
Yeah.
else, you know, people are changing,
Yeah,
you know, it just,
He's gonna mix up his hours a little bit because the comment that was made when the complaint came in, oh, just wait until after 2 o'clock, cause that's when Chad leaves.
you know,
So,
Yeah.
he says, I'm gonna kinda mix it up a little bit, so that might take care of it too. They were just waiting until he left to come on in.
yeah, yeah.
I ran on a schedule, I had it pretty basic. I had it starting and stopping and all, so first I had him for 4 hours, but he don't wanna work that many hours a week. You know, so I changed it to 3 hours. He seemed to like that, but I think
He took the schedule today,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he said he was gonna change it a little bit and
Yeah.
stay later during the night.
I don't have a problem with that, cause I mean, I looked at his payroll and stuff, he's right on the money.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, he's good.
So if you kept records, could you, if you had a repeat offender, then tell that repeat offender they couldn't come to the beach anymore?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
How do you enforce it though?
If
That's
they
the
come
bad-
back, then they'll be trespassing, right?
Yeah,
We
I
tell
mean,
them
you can
to
issue
leave.
a trespass order,
Right,
and then the cop can come and say, you're coming with me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the deputy can't kick people off, but he can
No.
prevent people going out if they're trespassing, he can pull them off.
Did you close it 1 year for a little bit?
Last year, on the COVID, and we was threatened to,
Oh,
Because
yeah.
the year before last, we
Was
went.
in trouble then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same people.
I know you hate to do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a nice little beach and stuff, you know?
That's all there is in town?
Mhm.
Really?
But I know he talked with some woman gave him quite a hard time, she was from Sanford.
Oh,
They run the license plate up here and stuff, and the woman didn't even live in town, she was driving over from Sanford.
2 Massachusetts cars down there yesterday. Chance weren't there, but.
Don't
Yeah.
surprise me.
Yeah. The Kiwanis Beach isn't open this year.
No, it's closed.
Right?
Yeah, it's closed, so, yeah. Yeah,
Bobadeo almost didn't open.
really,
Yeah, and finally, well, one guy that said he wasn't gonna do it anymore, finally said he would.
yeah.
So we've got an application for a, patrol person?
Yeah, she's only 16.
Yeah.
I think she's too young.
I do too.
Yeah,
I wouldn't wanna take the risk of her getting hurt,
Last year when we hired Isabella, I was wondering. and
Yeah,
stuff.
me too, yeah.
You know, I mean, she did a good job when she was there, but she, last 3 weeks,
Yeah.
something like that?
It wasn't challenging enough for us, it was that quiet.
it's too bad, like you say, it's too bad that we can't just stay calm and go down and enjoy the beach.
Yeah, yeah. Follow the rules, and, you know, no dogs on the beach, no smoking, no drinking.
What does the town of Standish do about the beach down your way? You know, down on the bridge of
The river?
the river, yeah.
They don't own it, that's private.
Oh, 'cause it's just crowded as can be.
Oh, I know, it was loaded today down there. And the
Okay.
parking lot was loaded, Central Maine Power owns that parking lot right there.
And they're lined up on the road.
Yeah.
Wow.
They ain't supposed to be, because they got all no parking signs. But what they do, they go up to the church and park in the churchyard, and then the church blocks off that part, so they couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, Lenny Dexter owns that. And Lenny, I can't remember the name of the place, he lives in Texas, he's got a daughter that lives in Wyndham, so he's never around. There's an injunction on the land, you know, you can't do anything, I think it's past 9 o'clock at night, you can't camp there and stuff. But other than that, they pretty much let them swim there as they want. But, have you been up there?
No, I just driving across the bridge. Take a look to the right.
You'd be surprised, you know, my father's fields are right on the top of the falls right there, from the end of it and stuff like that.
Yep,
If you look across the river now,
yep.
there's a great big house been built there, probably 50 feet from the river.
Wow.
You know, yeah, whoa, was right. I was shocked when I see it. I didn't even know it was being built, and all of a sudden, poof, went down one day, and there was this house. Yeah. And they come in off the Hanscom School Road to get to it and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, with all the rules with Saco River Corridor Commission and stuff,
If you just go through the regulations, you can do it. You know, you apply and you fill out the forms and you do all that stuff, and you can do a lot.
yeah. Like I say, I was shocked when I see it.
I'll see if I can find something online and see if, you know, maybe copy your incident reports from the fire department or something, and, adjust it to the same pond, come up with something. Yeah, so Doug, probably wanna inform her that we think she's a little too young. Nothing against her or anything, but.
It's gonna be a rough crowd, yeah.
Well, we don't want to
Yeah.
sell out. Don't want to do that.
Okay. Rerun tax acquired ad, River Road property disposal.
Do you wanna run that again? Cause the bids are due on the next meeting. I didn't know if you wanted to run that ad next week, just to remind people it's coming up.
I'm gonna say we could.
We've had quite a few inquiries,
Oh, really?
more so on Sam Pond.
What's the cost to run the ad?
Not much, $30, $40 maybe. Okay.
I would run
It's cheaper.
it, yeah.
In the River Road property, that deadline has passed, and both parties received the certifieds and signed off that they received the letter.
Okay.
So, I don't know what you wanna do on a value for that, or how to disclose it.
I think we do a similar thing to what we've done right now with these other two, which is think about it for our food. Figure out what a minimum price is we wanna pay on it, and then, come up with an ad. This one's got a little bit of a twist to it, because like I said, the right of way is across somebody's property.
Oh,
It's a railroad, right?
Well, yeah, it goes across the railroad as well, but there's a right of way in somebody else's deed. I've found it. I can dig that up and we can look at it.
To discuss it.
Which property is it?
It's one on River Road where they didn't pay the taxes.
Oh, or down there? About where?
It's not too far down, it's not far behind your place, cause I think you and I walked it, 4 or 5 years ago.
The lot behind my place, just beyond the roads, and was sold to, can't think of his name, I contacted him once, about 17 acres, but the old Harding Road, or the old County Road that goes behind all the properties, flares out from behind my property until it comes out River Road, that, you know, that gives access to a lot of land up in that area. And I guess it's used that more as a right of way, you know, it's an old abandoned town road.
I don't think it's the old town road there, but,
So is it that lot right there? One right behind me?
They had a for sale sign on it with a phone number, and Pat and Steve Libby called on it a long time ago, so I don't know if the sign's still there or not.
Yeah.
I can show you after the meeting.
Yeah.
There's no fuel bid ad.
This is the same one we use every year.
This is the same one as last year?
Yeah, I just tried to miss the
You didn't have
deadline.
no trouble with fuel last year, did you?
One good thing, if we do run out, we can skip the punch and get it right from the pump, you know?
Yeah.
I think you had a problem one year where we got some, here we go, the winter plan mix is set, we started by November 1st.
That was when Pit Stop and Lampron sold, that's when we had the trouble.
Yeah. That, and the temperature, quite a temperature fluctuation there too.
I think they had some low cut fuel they wanted to get rid of. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's good. We're using the July 13th date?
It'll be your next meeting.
Yeah. Okay. Sure enough.
Okey-dokey, yeah.
Mary, is that anything?
No, I just came to observe.
Good,
I
good.
like coming to see they're fun.
Well, good.
No, they're not fun,
Interesting.
It's enlightening.
I like that, yeah. Sometimes it really gets interesting.
Yeah.
Bruce?
Oh, we did have a call to San Juan yesterday. Somebody was in distress.
Really?
I couldn't figure out what was going on.
Chad told me about that.
And I'm gonna say, trying to figure it out, next thing I know, Standish Rescues was all tied
Yeah.
up. He wasn't hearing from the marine boat. So they called 911 in Wyndham, called Socketty, and I'm driving by Sebago to come to this thing, and Sebago's only 3 or 4 miles away, and he had a fit because I brought that up, his attitude down there, it's the same one.
Yeah.
So, and I said, well, if Sockby's coming, fine, keep it coming, but if not, if you don't get a response, and Sebago is a lot closer.
Yeah.
That's something I gotta deal with. We had an accident about a month ago, we had, there again, Standish was all tied up.
Mhm.
One of them was a code, but as it was, they freed all up within a matter of 5 minutes after we got going. We had 5 ambulances going for 2 people, and I did not realize that. I mean, you don't realize it once you get going on the scene, because you're not following through on what's going
Yeah,
on,
right.
with Sockby or Standish or anything like that.
Yeah, you're focused on what's going
So,
on.
yeah, that's something that I gotta talk to them about.
Rather than having too much and not enough.
You still don't need 5 when there's only 2 people, and they ended up only taking one of them.
Oh, really?
The sheriff took the other one.
No.
No, there was an incident, I didn't know what it was, it's just distress, what it was, the guy fell off the board, and I guess he's yelling and screaming out there. And people thought somebody was drowning and stuff like that. So, it's different than what it used to be down there.
Yeah. Kathy, you got anything?
Just that the Baldwin Community Auxiliary did very well with our weekend. We made over $4,000, which was really awesome. We still have a lot of leftover stuff, so we're debating as to whether we're gonna do the next one. But if we get some help to do that, we probably will. So we had a little chat with the fire department, and a couple of people stepped right up, so
Good.
that's really awesome. And we're in negotiations to be a support crew for them for food for major fires. Not little things, but major stuff. Bringing Gatorade, water, food, that sort of thing. Be there at the firehouse so that when they get back at 2 in the morning, they've got a little something to munch on and, get their head straight before they make it home.
Yeah.
They got a lot of cleanup after a fire anyway, so, it takes time. So whatever we can do along those lines. It's really a mutual respect thing.
You used to have that.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah,
Back when they were-
we can help them, we
Yeah.
certainly will,
Town.
as long as they're nice to us. They get cranky.
I think they left out all last time, but that's all right, we'll fix it.
Sandwich and a soda sometimes tastes good after you've been through a fire for 3-4 hours.
Absolutely.
The other thing, during the fire, remember Howard's place there, it was warm and humid. I'm gonna say we had to have, water and stuff like that at
Yeah.
that time, I mean, you just can't go without it.
Yeah.
These guys going into the coats and stuff, going into hot buildings, can't see.
You need
You
some.
can't have them keep going in and out, you gotta give them something, that's why I mentioned the Gatorade.
Yeah.
And I have some people that just don't take the Gatorade and standing back doing nothing, no, they don't get the Gatorade, same as the guys that's in the building coming out.
Right.
I got it.
That's how I wanna see it done, because they'll sit there and drink it right down, and those guys
Yeah.
won't
They don't
have
have
it.
anything.
The Gatorade is important to get the electrolytes and stuff back up and running.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
So,
we'll work it out, I'm sure it'll work.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
All I can picture is Stackhouse fire that time at night.
Yeah, see, I didn't make that one.
That was a long fire, and that was during the summer too.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of.
Like the tank one, that rolled over here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We was trying to get coffee, because we was tied up, waiting for DEP and all that.
Yes.
And that would've been nice
That
at
would've been
4
nice.
in the morning.
Yeah, it would.
So, yeah, I mean, it's not for every fire, but if there's wood fire or something.
Something
It's gonna be a
major.
2-3 day thing,
Yeah,
I think we probably, I'd be better off just relying on them getting Scarborough to come out with it.
Right, yeah, yeah.
If there's something going on long term.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I was telling them last night that, you should expect between 50 to 100 people fighting the fire between
different departments.
different standards,
It
Sebago.
depends what it is.
Right, yeah, so to kind of plan for a big amount of people, between your tanker drivers.
I would think, like the bottled water and stuff like that, as I said, I didn't ask Cheryl about that refrigerator, I should have, which one, I didn't, I thought of it 2 or 3 times. Cheryl and Keith are gonna get a refrigerator that we put down to the east,
Yeah,
and they have access to the east station, so that'll give them someplace to work out of.
yeah. Yeah, and they gotta come in and clean it someday, what was it,
Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
It's not as bad as it was, so I cleaned a lot of it out.
Did you? Oh, good, okay, they were twitching a bit over it.
No, I said,
Okay.
it isn't as bad as it.
Good, good to know.
All the stuff's disappeared out of it.
Why can't we go down Poland Spring and get another donated pallet of water for
Well,
Yeah.
we do that
them?
every
We
year.
used to, I mean, we haven't.
Yeah, I remember.
Robin was
Even here.
working on that, she got it cleared, I thought you picked up all
We
that.
got one for the garage, but,
Okay, yeah,
and they'll donate one for the fire department too, they've changed that policy, you could only get one.
Before.
And we used to split it between us and the 3 stations, but
Yeah, you used to get two.
why can't we go down and get one for them? I mean,
she's got a contact at Poland Spring, so.
yeah, we'll skip down and get it, maybe.
You can skip down, let me know, and then we can unload it at each station, so we're
Which
not
we did
handling
that,
a couple
yeah,
times.
we can, well, it's like 30, 40 cases a station, whatever it was, I don't know, but.
That one down there cleaned out, there's
Yeah.
some in west and north, because there isn't much going on up there.
Yeah.
There's balls up there.
And we can unload it with a Fox and whatever, it doesn't matter, but,
Okay, cool, thank
you
you.
know, it's a whole pallet of water for them.
Yeah.
you know.
Well, the other good thing about it is if you've got bottled water, you know how much you're putting in yourself.
Right.
You know, you're not taking a half a bottle, and usually you drink the whole thing, so
Yeah.
you know you're staying hydrated.
Great.
Yeah, but, the yard sale was really, really good, there was a lot of frustrations. It was hot, it was,
Yeah, and we're all exhausted by the end of it, trying to pack up on Sunday, what's trash, what's going to salvation, you know, whatever. And so it's just exhausting. So to
It is.
get a team of, you know, 6 people,
yeah,
you know, that'll help rebox, trash, whatever, and help,
yeah, I think it was being
overwhelming.
a little more organized too,
That was-
what do we do, what, you know, what goes where?
Right.
Yeah,
Right, yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
We're still working on getting the shed painted, getting the sign up on, Depot Road there.
yeah, I was gonna ask about that, should we be getting a couple estimates on that sign, the Baldwin sign?
Yeah, we probably should.
Do you want wood, or do you want metal, or we get an estimate on both, or, cause we'll probably have to take some measurements and besides, seems to think that the moonshine signs in Wyndham.
Maybe, or Muddy River in Bridgeton, they do metal signs,
Oh,
and
do
they
they?
do
Yeah.
supports and different, you
So
know,
don't
configurations.
Sebago signs.
There you go, sign
Okay,
that, so that's.
okay, so we got some options,
Yeah,
find out what prices and what style of stuff they're willing to work on.
yeah,
Sounds good.
I mean, you brought it up again last night, I totally forgot about it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like we didn't have anything to do with the yard sale, you know?
Right. Anything else?
Good, thanks.
Joe?
All set, thank you.
Brian, you got anything else?
And we're just trying to get your concrete for your gate out here still, that's all. I call once or twice a day,
Oh, really?
just to get that ditch charged, just to see if they got a truck coming this way to throw it on, and they never do, so. If we paid the extra charge, it still would be worth it, rather than somebody come in here and spinning up the beer race and.
We've been lucky that hasn't
You know, I
happened.
mean, so, maybe we ought to just bite the bullet, you know, I don't know.
We'd like to charge for
Get it done.
the trip and,
What I worry about more than that is when the kids are out here playing,
Yeah.
the car drives right down to the parking lot.
You never know, yeah.
No, and we've seen that happen.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
People don't think.
so I could try that in the morning and see if they'll run out of special load and get it done.
yeah.
I call it twice a day usually, so they get sick of hearing the town of Baldwin.
Who's dispatching over there now? Do you know who?
Mike still does, but there's the other guy, I can't think of his name, there's 2 of them in the Smith office, I think.
Yeah.
They're good, they kinda chuckle, they know who I am.
You want what?
Yeah, this Brian, yeah, I ain't got nothing.
Spam call.
Yeah. So I'll try that tomorrow,
Okay.
see if we can get it.
What, Wes, you got it?
Well, all quiet on the western front.
Good. Good. Bob, you got it?
Yeah, We've had this, that Danielle has forwarded to us a couple times about getting a DUNS number. Will we do that for the,
You have a DUNS number?
huh?
I haven't forwarded that.
You got one?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-oh.
I think you got this, working with guys from Standish on how we accept money from,
We have a DUNS number. I don't know if you wanted to continue with these, so I thought we were waiting for MMA with more info.
do we have one?
We have a DUNS number.
Okay, all right, good.
Yeah, we're good with that.
We're all set when they,
When they are ready? Yes.
when they come to hand out money, we'll say, give us one.
I'll make sure with Debbie, but yeah, we provided a DUNS number before.
Okay, good. That's it?
Dwight?
No, all set on that.
What's this about, this bill here from
Debbie wants to know,
Mobile
yeah, Bruce is here too, that's the invoice for working on Bruce's computer. It's the computer,
yeah,
in the time that he spent getting the county connected to Bruce. And Debbie's question is, do you wanna take that out of contingent or the fire department account?
$680.
She didn't know, is that fire department computer, is that town computer, like, how do you wanna treat it, I guess?
Nothing more fire department, isn't it?
Fire department, yeah, you guys use it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
I thought it was a town computer.
The town,
Better, it's a town computer.
yeah, I know it would be you, yeah, it'd be $680 you got it in your pocket. Your other bill come through on one of the trucks, I think it was pump 2, that wasn't too bad.
No, and the rest won't be bad. He's coming back July 9th, just let you know, but we're gonna have a meeting with the 7th, I think, so I'll bring her up to speed on that.
Yeah.
Don't you have a town, you know, Brian and myself and everyone on Wednesday?
yes, next Wednesday, the 7th, yeah.
We'll go through that then. I can put the bill, but you know, I'm getting broke all the time.
Did the town initially buy it? I don't think I was,
I think you did it, didn't you? The computer?
the town initially buy that computer, or
That's the invoice for the computer.
that's the computer that,
Yeah.
that's, oh, it's more than we paid?
We had laptops that we got, I think Owen got those from surplus,
From surplus, yeah.
and it was like 5 laptops that just didn't work that good, so. Yeah, the town probably paid for those, yeah, but they weren't much money.
And this is one of those?
No, this is his new one.
This is
Yeah,
the
but
name.
I would say, is that the price of the computer? No, I'm getting confused now.
Next year, but what is it?
Debbie gave that to me and said there's one for the computer and his time connecting
His
you
time
to
connecting.
Congress.
What it is the
County.
program's stolen. I have had one heck of a time, but there again, I don't think it's been any dealings with him. He's done everything he can, all his work has been county, trying to hook down there.
Mhm.
And they gave me a VPN number or something else like that, and they run out of licenses. And meantime, we had Chris go right through and try to do everything to connect, and he couldn't connect because the license wasn't any good. So then we had to go through and redo this whole thing once county finally did get a license. So, it's been a little bit of a cluster doing this and getting it off. But this week, I've finally been able to connect and download everything I have to do,
Yeah, good.
so.
Let's go with computer, refurbished computer.
Sounds like it, yeah.
That's his computer,
It's refurbished computer.
that's in his office.
Okay.
That's his computer.
They refurbished it.
He bought a refurbished one.
He bought a refurbished one.
It
This is
was,
it.
it was less expensive
Oh.
than a brand new one.
Okay.
It's Bruce's computer in his office, if you'd like to go look at it.
Just don't take the
That's
screen,
the
the
way
screen
to
is
go
mine,
back
I
in.
take the screen.
No, I'm the
It
person.
said there was no screen with it, it says in the bill there.
I thought they were, repaired it, and I thought it was a computer.
He repaired the connection from
Right.
county to Bruce,
Okay.
and installed, he bought that.
It ended up being done twice, well, it should have been once, but it wasn't his fault.
Okay.
It was more than twice, I believe. That was a long, ongoing
Oh,
thing.
it's been an ongoing thing, what, for 6 weeks or more. on the, cause I know it's about to the point to tell county to start taking them off and sending them to the tax. They're getting started on it.
Yeah, fight hard.
If you guys can't afford it, I guess I can. You're gonna know where my money went to.
Well, you know, right, we're telling you.
Oh, I know.
Oh, it's 680 here, 28 here, so, then a little $700. And we got, Monday, July 5th, town office closed. Tuesday, July 6th, Selectmen's workshop. Wednesday, July 7th, staff meeting at 2:00 p.m. Thursday, July 8th, planning board meeting at 7 p.m.
Do we know what happened at the last planning board meeting? Anybody sit in on that?
That was that.
No?
Did they get through the review of the shoreline zoning ordinance?
No.
Not the shoreline, I mean the, subdivision ordinance?
No.
We didn't?
So, David questioned what the legalities were around rewriting the, subdivision ordinance. And he got Dwight to say yes to asking David Laurie what we had to do, whether we had to exactly match the language in the state law. And David Laurie said, and I'm quoting him, this is legal stuff, and therefore I may be off, you know what I'm saying? But David Laurie said, gosh, I'd have to see the specific example, but generally speaking, the courts follow the town ordinance and respect home rule even when it differs from state law.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
I would think that's common sense, because when we rewrite it, we either have to equal or make it more restrictive, so it does get changed.
So we don't have to rewrite our ordinance if we don't want to. However, David Laurie would want to pass, of course, his meter would go if he passed every thing that was different, but that's what he said.
I don't think it's right. I mean, you can read the statute, and it doesn't say that. In fact,
Well,
remember when you and I went through it, it says you have to be, use the state definitions or you can be more restrictive in certain aspects of it.
So that's why David Laurie's language was the courts give deference to the town ordinance
Yes,
under home rule.
yes.
So the only other thing I could say, Bob, is that I asked a lawyer, a friend of mine, I said, who are your worst clients? And he said, engineers, because they think you can look it up and get an answer. That's my whole comment on, you know, like, it's law, and to you and me, it should be a directions, you know, like putting together your IKEA bed. But it's the law, and they're looking at case law, and they're looking at this and that and the other. They don't care what the legislature said, it's what the court said. So what the planning board is gonna do is probably talk about it. And what do we wanna do in that case? In other words, thank you for your work, we've now got it marked up and see what we have to do. Now, we'll probably go through it and decide what we wanna do. I mean, I brought up something, it disturbs me, the state's definition of a dwelling unit. They basically, they say a dwelling unit is something that was intended to be a dwelling unit. Well, that doesn't help our code enforcement officer going out. I mean, if you say it's gotta have a sink, and it's gotta have a bathroom, and it's gotta have a kitchen with a stove and a refrigerator, then you can understand what a dwelling unit is.
Yeah.
But if it just says, was it intended to be a dwelling unit?
I think you should not.
What does that mean? I don't know.
They start building a building, all of a sudden, to be a dwelling, then it turns into a barn.
And I think those are the areas where the state gives deference to the town.
Yeah, so
You
I
can be
would,
more restricted than the state definition,
so I would rather not change to what the state, you know, so we've got a good look at it in that way.
Interesting.
And the solar people, did you think they left happy the other night, or was they
Yeah.
head spinning?
Yeah, they look happy. By the way, I got another letter this last week from a company from Minnesota with a picture of my field on Rocky Gun Road, saying I could get $1,000 an acre to put a solar farm there, and they'd give me a 2% raise in 10 years. And it just struck me, this was a computer program
Yeah.
that saw a field and sent a letter.
Look up your shirt, your heart's falling out.
Yeah, nothing more, you know, no intelligence involved.
I think we're gonna see more and more of that.
I did, I jumped right into the trash. But it concerns me because I heard what Bob said, maybe it was meeting before last, about, you know, how many solar farms do we want in town?
Yeah.
I don't wanna say, I got mine, okay, let's close the door, but still, you know,
At some point.
at some point.
You know, don't wanna give a solar farm capital of Maine, you know.
No, but that's all over the place. I
Yeah.
mean, you go to every town around and somebody's got something going.
Yeah.
Go to Stanford,
Oh,
or Alfred
is
right
that
now.
huge or what?
Yeah, big time.
Enormous.
Well, that's one of the good things about the Estes one and mine is, they won't show from the road. You drive by, you won't see it from anywhere else in town.
Yeah.
I don't object to it personally. Solar farm looks as good as anything else. I mean, I'd rather have trees, but, you know, solar farm's not ugly.
Right, yeah. Well, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I have a couple things.
I guess before we leave it though, is we don't think that there's gonna be a public hearing, on a revision then to the, subdivision ordinance anytime soon, put it that way. You're gonna talk about it for a while.
We're gonna talk about it for a while. It's gonna be, I would say, 3 months.
No. We don't have to worry about coordinating or.
I was gonna say, you don't have to worry about putting in a town meeting or something right off the way.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you.
Yes, Danielle.
Planning board appointment.
Oh,
Glenn Reynolds is up July 7th, he's an alternate. David Stock is up July 3rd. And Matt Sanborn is up July 24th.
I talked to David and Matt the other night,
Okay?
and, you know, told them their appointments were up, and they knew it, so it's up to them now to come to us.
Well, they don't come to us.
Well, we give them the paperwork and re-up them however we wanna
Well,
do
we're
it.
gonna have a planning board member absent here. There's gonna be some missing seats, so what do you guys wanna do about it? Just,
I know the two, David Strzok and Matt Sanborn, we had talked about it before, that they should be continued if they want to serve.
Yeah, that's what I told them.
Yeah, and,
I didn't get a yes or a no, so.
well, I would move that we nominate the two of those, to the planning board, and, then we can, Danielle, you can get a,
yep,
if that's agreed by everybody.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
You okay with it?
And then we can get a reply, and
Okay.
if the reply, then we get the papers ready.
we'll go Glenn.
I don't know, he hasn't shown up really to much of anything. Last I saw him was at the car parts store, and he said spends a lot of time in Florida, but honestly.
Do you wanna advertise his position? Or notify him? I know he said he still wants to be on it, but he hasn't made many meetings, I don't. He should be voting on any.
When he came in for some paperwork, he admitted that he's not around, so if you guys wanted to get, would be no hard feelings for sure.
Oh,
He
he did?
understood that, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna advertise it?
I think we should, that's just no good if he's not here.
Yeah.
They're alternate.
Yeah.
Could I make a suggestion that you advertised recently for a planning board member, and you got one reply, and that really an effort has to be made to go out and ask somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've had a couple inquiries about instead of appointing them, run them an election. So I guess,
Still gotta have people run for the positions, that's
yeah, yeah.
not a whole lot of volunteers in this town.
No, there's not, Kathy.
I think you do better appointing, I think you get a better quality person.
Yeah.
5-year terms, Danielle.
Never do that. Well, we went and sent some paperwork.
You don't have to go through this, yeah.
5 year.
I think that's state law, 5 years.
Gotcha. I emailed Norman Blake today about tower stuff. I included him, I wasn't sure if Bruce had, talked to him yet, just a heads up on the repeater issue. And more so on the internet, proposal that we're gonna get eventually. He indicated that, and I did forward the email from Red Zone to him, and we communicated back and forth, and he thinks that, the selectmen should get in touch with this engineer before, more conversations happen, because basically they're saying that Red Zone can't go any higher than 200 feet, and he feels that's violating the CUP for the tower. He says that they can go at least 500 feet. And he said he's gotta be extremely willing to come in during talks with Red Zone. He gave me another company, Hub 66 is a competitor of Red Zone, and I guess they do the same type of thing that Red Zone does differently. So he says definitely get a hold of them too. The surveys are still going out slowly when I don't get interrupted. I have a lot of response already back from emails. People are scanning them and sending them to me, so once I get them all out, I'll get them all in an Excel sheet where we're at, name, address, the whole 9 yards, and then really focus on this. But I just wanted to let you know that Norman was really interested in being involved in this, and he's really thinks that, Channel 8's violating the CUP for the tower.
Does the CUP say that they can't go any lower than 200 or any?
He says they can go 500 feet without a problem, the way the CUP is written.
Maybe on Friday I'll come in, Wes, see what, you've got a copy of the CUP in the files?
Planning board does, it's in there.
I might, yeah. I guess so.
I'll take a look and see
Yeah, there's a whole file in there of CUP, so.
what it says.
Thursday, I sat down with Wes a little bit today, because I'm getting an awful lot of questions on the Sand Pond lot. It's 0.48 acres. And 2 people asked me, is it buildable? And my first reaction was it's under 2 acres. However, the lot was created before 1975, so I talked to Wes, and he measured it out on the map, and it's very close, he says. And you can explain it better, Wes. I mean, the setback.
Well, looking at the big map and the scale, it's hard to tell, the maps aren't necessarily that accurate, and the road they have driven, drawn on is probably about 200 feet wide according to scale. It is close. I know that little lot behind Estes, that was in contention about 2 years ago, was a little more than 1/3 of an acre, close to half of them. We can get a building there about 22 feet wide and 50 feet long. so it can be done, but the only way to go out there to the lot and measure it, but I don't know if we can find the corner point, so we know where the exact boundary line is, so we can measure off the boundary line. So basically, it's up to whoever purchases their risk and get a surveyor to see what space they have in the land. Because the ordinance says, being grandfathered, the lot is undersized, obviously under 2 acres, if it meets setback, if you can meet setback dimensions, you can build on it.
I had a guy call me the other night on that, he's in the butter, and he asked me that same question, and I wouldn't give him an answer one way or the other and stuff, he told me that land has been surveyed out.
Yeah, it probably has, but if you or I to go out there and say, here's the boundary line, let's measure 50 feet off of it, are you sure that's the boundary line, or just, only if you know where the corner posts are and stretch a string, and then maybe you can be pretty accurate. I don't know if corner posts are there, or if we can find them.
Yeah.
Monuments on the corners.
We'll make sure we provide all the information to the same, I guess, and I just found this out, so I gotta get a hold of 2 other people that asked the same question and make sure they contact Wes and understand the whole 9 yards on that, whether it's buildable or not.
The other hang up is there's 2 fronts on it, there's a corner of a road there, and when a road makes a corner on the property, both sides of the property are considered fronts. So it's not only holding 75 feet from the center line off of one road, but it's off both roads, so you're getting into the lot a little more and backing it off, so you're squeezing the area. It's close.
And Cumberland County also has a note saying 25% restricted use, and I got to call them on that because that's their note, I don't know what restricted use means. So.
And park it.
Anything else?
I'm good.
You sure?
That's everything
Anything
that
to
I
us?
want, yep.
Alright. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
You in favor?